Afternoon and welcome to the media news. I'm Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. 37 days to go to end the end of tenure. President Muhammadu Buhari said that he could not wait to go home after 8 years of being at the helm of affairs in the country, serving the people. The president also pleaded with all those he has hurt in the course of steering the affairs of state since he assumed office almost 8 years ago to pardon him. President Buhari spoke at the final Salah homage, appreciating Nigerians for tolerating him for more than 7.5 years. As Osun State residents joined the Islamic world to 1744 Eid al-Fitr, the state governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, called on residents of the state to allow the lessons of Ramadan reflect in their lives. Governor's office correspondent Abdurrahim Adeklek, who joined the governor to observe the 2 Rakat Eid prayer at Osogbo Central Eid praying ground, Okibale Osogbo, now completes the story.
The celebration of Eid al-Fitr that falls on first day of Shawwal, the 9th Islamic lunar month, was sequel to the sighting of the crescent moon in several locations across Nigeria and other parts of the world. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke joined the Muslim Ummah to observe the 2 Rakat prayer at the Osogbo Central Eid praying ground located along Ibokun Road, Osogbo. Leading the prayer, the Grand Imam of Osun State, Sheikh Musa Animasaun, congratulated the entire Ummah for witnessing the Eid, which signaled the end of the month-long fasting from sunrise to sunset. Sheikh Animasaun, while extolling the unique attributes of God as the supreme ruler of the world, enjoined Muslims to obey superior authorities, saying those in position of authorities are ordained by Allah. The Grand Imam asked Muslims to seek forgiveness of sins and thank God for sparing their lives to witness yet another Eid. In his address, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke thanked the people of Osun State for standing by his government. He used the occasion to announce that he has given approval for the completion of the long-abandoned testing ground Okebale to Garage Ilesha Roundabout Road, while enjoining Muslims to allow lessons of Ramadan to reflect in their daily endeavors. Of Salah in peace and harmony.
You know, it's only God that is 100%. We are not 100%, but they should try and abide from the fasting of that 30 days. A lot of people stay away from a lot of things. They should try to abide by it. It's not going to be easy, but they should just try.
The governor was accompanied to the Eid praying ground by the Secretary to the State Government, Alhaji Teslim Igbalaye, Mr. Kolapo Alimi, Honorable Ashim Abioye, Prince Ayodeji Olamilekan, popularly known as Sango of Africa, Alhaji Ganiyo Olaoluwa, Honorable Ajishafe Kosolowe, among others. It has been Abdurrahim Adeklekun reporting.
In another development, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has directed an overhaul of the revenue collection protocol affecting the Ministry of Environment and other agencies. A directive issued by the governor and released by spokesperson Malam Olawade Rashid indicated immediate stoppage of inherited collection model in the Ministry of Environment, mandating that all revenue consultants must enter into a memorandum of understanding with the state government. According to the directive, the memorandum of understanding must be prepared by the Ministry of Justice, spelling out detailed modus operandi of activities and government protocol for all revenue officers. Governor Adeleke further instructed the affected MDAs to host an emergency meeting of all revenue consultants to enforce the new directive and discipline hearing agents. He reaffirmed this administration's zero-tolerance policy for untoward practices and promised severe punishment for any revenue agents found to be flouting standard practices or engaging in sharp practices against the interests of the state. In the meantime, the Chief Imam of Oshogbo, Sheikh Musa Animashaun, said that Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke is God's choice for the people of the state. This is revealed in a release by the spokesperson to the governor, Malam Olawale Rashid. According to the message, the chairman of Osun State League of Imams and Alfas, Sheikh Musa Animashaun, after the Eid-ul-Fitr prayers in Oshogbo Central Eid Ground, stressed that Oshogbo people in particular cast their votes for Senator Ademola Adeleke, whom Almighty Allah destines to carry the flag of the state, urging people to submit to the will of Almighty Allah by cooperating with the administration. The Imam promised his continued prayers for the success of Governor Adeleke, saying whoever God chooses must be supported, citing the Quranic instruction that Almighty commands submission to him, his prophets, and the leaders in their midst. The number of Nigerian students who have indicated willingness to return to the country from war-torn Sudan has risen to 1,700, but the federal government may have dashed their hopes of earlier evacuation as fighting rages in the troubled nation. The government explained that the tense situation in Sudan is making it difficult for stranded Nigerian citizens to be evacuated from the country. The chairman and chief executive officer Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabirerewa, said though the Nigerian mission in Sudan and the National Emergency Management Agency have put in place arrangements to evacuate the citizens, it is impossible for any flights during this war period. This is contained in a statement signed by Gabriel Odu of the Media Public Relations and Protocols Unit. Dabiri Rewa noted that humanitarian groups are seeking ways of getting food, water, and medical supplies across to people. She also appealed to the fighting parties to consider the Juba Peace Agreement initiated by the Intergovernmental Authority on Development as fundamental mechanism for the restoration of peace and tranquility in the country. The General Manager of Osun State Water Corporation, Mrs. Dupe Olajokutola, is the expected guest today on Imole Ayo, a sensitization program highlighting the state government activities on OSBC radio and television. The weekly Yoruba program put in place by the office of the spokesperson to the governor in conjunction with the management of OSBC is aimed at promoting the achievements of Governor Ademola Adeleke's administration in Osun State. Mrs. Jokutola will speak on the efforts of the present administration in the state in the provision of potable water for the people. Imole Ayo takes the air at 6:30 in the evening, while listeners and viewers can contribute by dialing the studio line when the program is on. And moving on to sports, former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has said that a potential fight with Deontay Wilder is 95% done on his side and could take place in December if the deal goes through. Talks are ongoing over a proposed tournament in Saudi Arabia, which could also involve Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk fight on the same card. Joshua claimed his first win in over 2 years after defeating Jermaine Franklin in his last fight on April 1st, having previously fallen to 2 consecutive losses to Usyk in 2021 and 2022. He then announced that he would not return to the ring until December, ruling out a summer showdown with either Fury or Dillian Whyte. Joshua now looks set to face off against the former WBC world champion Wilder at the end of the year in a fight that could have happened when they were both champions. While on the foreign scene, fighting in Sudan's capital entered its second week today as crackling gunfire shattered the temporary truce, the latest battles between forces of rival generals that have already left hundreds dead and thousands wounded. Reports say overnight the heavy explosions that had previously rocked the city in recent days had subsided, but bursts of gunfire resumed. Violence broke out on April 15 between forces loyal to Army Chief Abdel Fattah Abdurrahman and his deputy-turned-rival Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, who commands the powerful paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. The forces' allies seized power in a 2021 coup, but later fell out in a bitter power struggle. And that ends the media news on Osbc TV. Do join us at 5 for the evening news. Good afternoon.